Hello, and today we'll continue with Raincheck. I can't say the sense that there's something fishy happening here. At the very least, the bathroom is a more exposed location when compared to his private room. Sure, the bathroom is fine. Okay. As we walk towards the bathroom, I keep up with Rose with stride, determined to keep pace. Before us stands a few set of bathroom doors, and he wastes no time in knocking on an accessible one. There's no response, and Raul takes that as a signal to turn the handle. In here. He walks in and gestures for me to enter as well, holding the door open. I hesitate briefly at the sight of the small, accessible bathroom, but then quickly enter Raul, checking for any observers. Stepping in, I'm surprised by its spaciousness. Raul startles me by reaching a paw behind me and locking the door once I'm inside. I need to relax. One sec. He takes off his jacket, leaving me bewildered and not sure what I just gotten myself into. Holding out the jacket, he hangs it on the door hook. With another paw, he turns on the sink. It's running water, masking most of the muffled noises from outside. The wolf pulls out his phone and attaches a small camera accessory, aiming at his jacket. As I raise an eyebrow, he searches the room intently with his phone. Is something that's supposed to happen? I'm looking for hidden cameras. His gaze is fixed to a small bright glint directly underneath the sink, like this. He paused the pea-sized camera off and crushes it between his digits with ease. They won't be needing that. Why there's a camera in here? That's what I'd like to know as well. Curiously, I also look around the room, seeing if I could spot any more. That should be it. It looks like this was the only one. What did you just do? What do you mean? I said I was looking for hidden cameras. I mean with the jacket. Oh, that. It's a derivative of anti-paparazzi clothing. It reflects back certain wavelengths, especially flashes. I use this attachment to sift the IR wavelength from my phone and amplify it off my jacket. This makes various objects shine, making it easier for me to detect them and remove them. I point to destroy fragments of his paw. Aren't you concerned that you might be destroying a camera owned by the hotel? He looks at me as if I was just insulting him. No. Last time I checked, cameras shouldn't be in bathrooms. That makes sense. I thought my question as well puts away his phone, but a new question arises in my mind. Right, then who puts the camera there? Just about a cheap build in a small size. I'm almost certain it's the police. He lowers his voice to a barely audible whisper, making it difficult for me to hear. Huh, police? Are you worried that the police might come after you for destroying their cameras? No, these are inexpensive and are meant to be disposable. Besides, these aren't our friends. They're more corrupt than usual. There have been a few well-known incidents that support this theory. Really? Like what? Well, if you're asking, then you probably never heard of the most famous one, the Castleton incident, right? No, never. Last year, Castleton's wife disappeared. He also happened to be the mayor. There was a lot of suspicion when he showed no concern to reporters. Interestingly, the police had numerous leads but didn't pursue any of them. While at the same time, Castleton made a substantial donation to the police department. At least this is what most people know before a gag order was imposed by the police. So what happened to Castleton's wife? Was he really murdered? It's hard to say for certain. There are speculations that he might have orchestrated her murder to gain control of her will and property. The case went cold and Castleton's wife is still missing. By the way, Castleton, we married just 5 months later. Oh my God. This isn't the first. This is the only instance of the police engaging in questionable activities, but it's the most notorious one. So why did you cover for me earlier if you knew the police weren't going to do anything? You're right. They probably wouldn't have cared about you, but they would have found out about me through their interrogations with you. I can't risk having my cover blown. I see. But now that I know, aren't you worried I'll tell others? No, it did cross my mind, but it's hard to get the police's attention here unless you're brought in specifically. In other words, it's easy for the police to get a hold of you, but it's not true the other way around. These edits are everywhere. They probably get dozens of calls from them every day. His logic makes sense, but I'm having a hard time figuring out his intent. How does this relate to him? Damn. How are things so backwards here? It's not like it's lawless here. The police seem more focused on protecting those in power for the most part. I guess so. I decided to voice a nagging thought that has been bothering me for a while. You're not some kind of spy, are you? He grins and tries his best to hold back a chuckle. Funny, it's been a while since I've heard that one. No, I'm not a spy, just a private investigator. He pulls out a small black business card from his pocket and hands it over to me. I work for ARC. ARC? I don't think I recognize the name. I studied the business card, reading the bold silver letters that occupy most of the space, stating analytical research and confidentiality. Okay, fair enough, but what about that cat? What the hell was that? And how did you know they attacked me? It's pretty obvious, would you agree? I shake my head in disagreement. Not really. I've seen how you act. You're not the type of guy to suddenly attack people, let alone drug addicts. He's not wrong, but his response catches me off guard. The wolf falls silent and gazes at me. Actually, I saw him wandering around the place earlier. He caught my attention and I was keeping a watch on him until he bumped into me. So he didn't know I was attacked? Besides the fact that he was probably hiring drugs, no, but I had a gut feeling. Right. But you mentioned skeleton earlier. What kind of drug is that? I never heard of it before. I've never heard about it until this year either. It's extremely addictive and self-destructive. Supposed to be 10 times more addictive than heroin. I don't know much besides what symptoms that the users usually experience. Internal bleeding, hallucinations, aggression, skeletal degradation, and occasional organ failure. The wolf chuckles and smells at me, and I return a weak laugh, regretting asking about skeleton. Sounds like fun. That cat has some deep scratches on their paws and tail. That's how people taking skeleton inject the drug, so they can target the bones more directly. The mere thought sends a chill down my spine. What a sad way to live. Is that why it's called skeleton? Probably. So that's how you knew. Are you investigating this skeleton stuff? No, what I'm looking into happened years ago. He doesn't elaborate and instead checks his phone. Well, reaches for his jacket and puts it back on. I need to get going. Listen, I know the day's been a mess for you. Why don't you go back to your room and take it easy for the rest of your time here? Avoid going out. I feel like things are only going to get more wild from here on out. But I don't want to spend my entire trip locked up inside. That's fine. Do what you want. Just don't say I didn't warn you. Wolf stops and looks at me, seemingly like he just remembered something. Although, if you do see anything weird, let me know. The number listed goes on my phone. He motions to the business card I'm still holding on to. Okay, I'll be on my way now. Stay safe. He steps off the water and walks past me to exit. Just as he's about to leave, a knock at the door interrupts our interaction. He seemingly ignores it and unlocks it, swinging the door fully inward and stepping out. Oh God, it's Christopher. Things have got a whole lot more uncomfortable. They exchange glances as well, walks past the polar bear. Just as the door is about to close, Christopher catches sight of me and gives me a surprised but judgmental stare before the door shuts. I take that as my cue to book it as fast as possible. I head back to my room, feeling utterly spent. Today's been one hell of a day so far. I fall up on the bed and examine the makeshift bandage on my tail. It stings when I try to curl it. Might be best if I just leave it alone. I inch myself closer to the charging cable and plug my phone in. With my heavy head resting on the bed, I wait for my phone to boot up. The idea of taking a nap comes to mind, but suddenly my phone vibrates. That's probably the boot up. I close my eyes again, this time prepared to take a nice long nap until my phone vibrates again. And again. I think I might have missed some notifications since earlier I selectively repositioned myself to get a better look at my phone. Two new messages from... that's strange. The notification preview doesn't display any phone number. Unlocking my phone, I tap on the most recent message. It's a string of words that I don't immediately understand the meaning of. Good job. You will pick up your reward tomorrow night by yourself or else. 10,300 iridescent drive. What am I reading? Is this one of those scam texts? Confused and unsettled, I decide to view the next text. The following message contains only a small image attachment, which I hesitate to download, but ultimately decide to view. As the image appears on my screen, my drowsiness dissipates instantly. I zoom into the image as much as I can. Oh God, that's me on the floor with the cat from earlier on top. Who could have taken this photo? I didn't see anyone around at that time, certainly not from this angle. A sharp sense of dread pangs out within me. The realization hits whoever took that photo knows what I look like. They know my number and still might be watching me right now. Pressing my phone tightly in my paw, I quickly zip out of bed and slowly back away from the large window, seeking refuge in the back room. Fear grips me, and the sense of being stalked becomes all too real. I slam the door shut and lock it. I study the photo again, and my entire body shakes as I take in what I'm seeing. What the fuck? I'm not sure if these two messages were sent by the same person, but they seem to be related. Returning to the first text, I try my best to read it again, despite my current state of mind. Good job. You'll pick up your reward tomorrow night. Are they referring to the attack in the casino? My heart pounds in my chest, my body trembling with fear. My mind screams at me, warning of the imminent danger I might be in. I shut my eyes and list out my possible options. Ignore it, but what would happen if I didn't listen? Call the police, but well missing that they're virtually useless. Wait, that's right. I could call Wow. Hopefully he'll know what to do. With the business card Wow had given me earlier, I dialed the number on the back with my barely charged phone. After a few rings, someone picks up the line. Hi. Xavier speaking. I'm greeted by an unfamiliar voice. Their accent sounds faintly Hispanic. Did I call the wrong number? Hi, is Wow there? How did you get this number? Well, just a moment. I wait for a response, but there's only silence. After a long pause, I contemplate ending the call when Xavier finally speaks again. Hi, Theodore. Role's occupied at the moment. How can I help you? Okay. My voice quivers with a palpable shakiness that I struggle to control. I do my utmost to convey the gravity of the situation to Javier, describing how I'm recovering in my bathroom, overwhelmed by a genuine fear for my life. I might be questioning my own reaction, but the fear crushing through me feels all too real. Okay, come to the North Tower, room 3510. We'll be waiting for you. Wait, how do I... The line abruptly disconnects, leaving me with no other alternative. Looks like I have no choice. It takes me a bit to navigate through a connecting skywards, but I'm finally on the 35th floor. It would have probably taken faster if I wasn't checking over my shoulder every 5 seconds from paranoia. The layout of this hallway appears identical to the rest of the hotel. I walk down the familiar corridor until I reach the door labeled 3510 at the end. Standing before the door, I hesitate momentarily before deciding to knock. Just as my paw is about to make contact with the door, it swings open abruptly, catching me off guard. Come in. I glance down and see a small, well-groomed fox standing behind the door, motioning for me to enter. His accent matches the voice I spoke to earlier, so it must be the same person. Cautiously, I look around the hallway and ensure I'm not being followed before entering the room. A faint scent of bleach permeates the air, growing stronger as I make my way further to the room. I see Ro lounging on an expensive-looking sofa in the corner of the room. He seems focused on his phone, but turns to face me once I'm closer in. Is he the one you were talking about? His gaze bounces between Javier and me. Yes. So is your phone. We're curious. I take out my phone, but frown when I realize that it had died on me again. Is it dead? I return a small nod back. In that case, the fox walks over next to a desk with a couple of briefcases laying next to it and pulls out a small thin white cable from one of them. He twists a small dial at the head of the cable and plugs it to my phone and plugs the other end to an outlet beside the desk. There. You're welcome. I look over at Raul, who seems to be staring at me intently. How are you holding up? Barely. I nearly had a breakdown earlier back in my room. I had no idea who or why someone sent me that. I'm honestly scared. I thought about calling the police earlier, but then I remembered what you told me. Well, now it's back. Good call coming to us. There's not a whole lot they can do. Or should I say, willing to do. Yeah, it's done. The fox interjects and hands back my phone to me. Here's your phone. I'll need you to unlock it as a source of text. I take back my phone skeptically and stare at the screen. 74%. What? That was quick. Yes, now unlock your phone. But why? Following the fox's instructions, I unlocked my phone and opened my messaging app. Display the message with the image. I'll display the message with the image attachment to Javier. A chill runs down my spine as I sew it to him. It's creepy enough to make my first stance on end. He takes my phone and walks over to Raul, sharing the image with him. There's your friend there, and that's me over there. I raised an eyebrow, unable to see the screen, unsure what Raul was referring to. I didn't see Raul earlier. So it is. Raul takes my phone from Javier and zooms into the screen and shows me. Whoever took this photo managed to get me in frame as well. This is inconvenient. His tone comes across as more annoyed than worried. What about the other text, the address? It's another message with no number. My voice is weak and trembling, the weight of the situation sinking in once again. The fox finds the message and scrutinizes my phone with focus. 10300 Iridescent Drive. Let me check where that is. Raul gets to his feet and looms above me, his gaze intense. You're not thinking of going, are you? I'm not sure, should I? Definitely not. But what do you think they'll do to me if I don't? Not sure. Could be just a bluff. But then again, it sounds like they're responsible for the attack. Although I'm uncomfortable saying it, the truth is that I'm absolutely terrified. Yeah. I'm almost certain nothing's going to happen to you. But this looks like it could be a potential clue for. I found it. Looks like it's by the power plants at the edge of town. My stomach sinks and Javier takes notice of my sudden change in appearance. Don't worry, Theodore, was it? Ro and I will investigate this for you, so you can rest easy. We'll make sure you're safe. And by that I mean Ro will. We never agreed to this. I can't babysit him. He's a liability. No, he's an asset. This is a lead. I'll call Andrew later and let him know you know what to do. Besides, look at him. He's a mess. Don't you have any compassion? Geez, thanks. The wolf heaves a deep and extended sigh. Fine. A massive weight suddenly disappears off my chest, but now I'm feeling really unsure of the entire situation. So, then what are we going to do now? The fox turns to me. Well, I need to get back to preparing for tomorrow. I'll be back later tonight with some stuff, well? He starts walking towards the door but stops halfway, turning to look at me once more. Actually, do you mind if I take your phone to do some message tracing? I will turn it back later. Reluctantly, I hand over my phone, realizing that I don't have much choice in the matter. Yeah, sure. The fox pockets my phone and proceeds towards the exit. I'll keep you updated, Ro. The door closes swiftly, leaving Ro and I in an uncomfortable silence. After holding my gaze, for a moment he steals his attention to the window, where he watches the gray clouds drift by. Not sure what to do, I sink down onto Ro's bed, my head hanging heavily as I stare at the ground. Hey, Ro. Struggling to speak above a whisper, my voice barely audible. He doesn't respond back, but I look over and see his ears twitching, so I decide to continue. Hey, I'm sorry. A lot happened to me today, and I don't really know if I I just don't know what to. I took over the last bit of my sentence and tears start bellowing up. I lie back and stare at the ceiling, attempting to regain my composure. It's fine. It's not your fault. We'll do our best to unravel this and, most importantly, keep you safe. Summoning the last of my energy, I managed to utter a faint thank you. I shut my eyes, trying to think of something else to say. A prolonged silence ensues, and I try to open my eyes to see what Ro is doing, but my body refuses to obey. Ro says something to me, but I can barely make out what it is. I guess the exhaustion's getting the better of me. I'm worn out. Not too loud, sleeping. Oops. Tomorrow will. Absolutely not. What did I can do it instead. God's late. It's dark. Where am I? I move my paws and feel a thin sheet cover me. Then I fall asleep in Ro's room. I slowly sit up on the bed, my body feeling stiff. I instinctively search my body for my phone, intending to check the time before recalling that I had given it to Javier. I shift my focus to the room, giving my eyes time to adjust to the lack of light. No one seems to be here. Well, my voice is meek and groggy. There's no reply. Curious, I nearly stumble out of bed and check the bathroom, but he's not there either. Where did he go? I return to the bedroom and decide to open the curtains. I can't see much besides the rain-drenched window, which obscures the cold glow of the ambient city lights glistening down below. What time is it? Walking over to the light switch, I flip it on, revealing an altered room, just as it was when I arrived earlier. Spotted the TV remote on the countertop. I pick it up and turn on the large flat screen TV mounted in front of the bed. The TV turns on to a welcome screen for the hotel with time boldly written in the corner. 11:45 p.m. Have I really been asleep for so long? Just then I hear a mechanical click, followed by the sound of the door handle turning. I can't make it out at first, but then I recognize the shape of their body as they make their way in. It's Ro. Hey. He spots me next to the TV and approaches me with a surprised look on his face. There's a brown bag in his paw that extends that sends out to me. How long have you been up? Not long at all. I just woke up and went and wanted to check the time. Right. Here, if you're hungry. He sets the bag on top of the counter, water dripping from it as he does so. Thanks. Don't miss it. He settles and takes off his shirt, the fabric sticking to him as he does. Wasn't expecting that. I knew he was toned, but damn. God, I need a shower. This is what I get for leaving my jacket here. He tucks the wet shirt into the bathroom. Your phone's over there, by the way. Let me get it for you. He points to a small black plastic container on top of the desk next to his laptop. I watch as he enters the code on the front of the container, opens the lid, and hands my phone back to me. We couldn't find out anything from the messages. Whoever sent those to you knew how to stay hidden. You can ask Javier tomorrow about the details if you want. He starts and looks at me more carefully. Speaking of which, we're going to scout out that address tomorrow morning and see how we should proceed from there. Javier and I both agree that this is some sort of trap, so it's best to go early. We need you to come along with us too. Me? But I don't know what. Relax, it's better to have you in our sights in case anything goes wrong. We're not planning on doing anything crazy. Okay, I guess that makes sense. One more thing. As you probably know, Cypress is scheduled for a late afternoon appearance tomorrow, so we'll need to get to the convention hall an hour before the scheduled time. Well, I said earlier I got that convention pass to let us in. We need to see how they set up. Meaning we're going to be going backstage, okay? Wait, make yourself comfortable, The wolf sighs and shakes his head. I've got to ask, do you want to head back to your room tonight? As per protocol, I can't force you, so I strongly recommend you stay here for the night. Up to you. I sigh relief and nod in agreement. No, you're right. I don't feel safe alone in my room. Alright. Anything you want to get from your room? Not really. Well, I guess my laptop, if that's okay. I'd rather stay here and take things easy for the night. Fair enough. Food's there if you're hungry. I didn't know what you like, so I got a burger. Hope you like cheeseburger. I'll be right back. He gestures to the bed and then the bag on the counter. Something wrong? No, just, I'm sorry about earlier. I've also fell asleep on your bed. You had a long day. It's understandable. With that, he walks off into the bathroom. I spend the next few minutes gazing across the cityscape with burger and pop. The sound of roaring water coming from rolled shower helps ease my mind as I eat. After several more minutes, I finish my food and decide to take a seat on the fancy sofa by the window and tilted to gather my thoughts for tomorrow. I close my eyes, trying to piece together the meaning of the attack, the text, and the photo. What's this reward? Hey, if you're tired, you can sleep on the bed. I can take the couch. What? Wasn't expecting him to be practically nude. I thought he at least put his clothes on in the bathroom. Feeling flustered, I examined the fancy couch I'm sitting on instead. He wants to sleep on this. I don't think the armrest seemed comfortable for Ro to sleep on, not with his stature. You're, sleeping like that? I mean, sleeping on this? Why did I just blurt that out? Yes, and yes. Does it bother you? I could put on some clothes if you like. Oh, it's fine. I was just curious. I need to come up with a reasonable excuse. Though you might be cold. Me, never. My first thick and dense. It's the same as yours. Alright. I hear Ro pulling something out of the mini fridge as I stare aimlessly at the couch I'm on. Moments go by before I decide to speak up once again. Say, I've been thinking about tomorrow. Lay on me. It's nothing specific. I'm just trying to understand what all this could mean. You and me both. It'll be okay. You know I used to be a bodyguard. Huh, really? Yeah, it didn't last long though. Why not? and did my job too well. I may have gotten fired due to excessive force. Oh well, what did you do? May or may not have thrown someone into the dumpster. I can't help but grin a bit with how silly that sounds. Point is, you'll be fine. Promise. He looks over to the now empty food bag and gives me a look. Now get up. You're in my spot. You can go clean up in the bathroom. I'm going to sleep. We got a long day tomorrow. Good night. Oh, good night. As I switch places with Will, he passes me the clean towel with his paw. I opt not to take a shower, instead deciding to take off my clothes and freshen up with the towel instead. I hope he doesn't mind. I set my clothes in the bathroom, wearing only my briefs. Stepping back into the room, my eyes adjust to the dark. I can make out the faint silhouette of Will laying on the couch, his back facing towards me. He's completely motionless. Is he already asleep? I turn off the bathroom lights and quietly make my way to the bed. I hop in as quietly as possible, trying my best not to wake him up. Hey, one last thing. Did you know you sleep talk? Will's deep voice echoes throughout the room. His question catches me off guard. Yeah, I used to as a kid. Oh no, was I earlier? Yes. You did, yes. What was I saying? Well, okay. I awkwardly settle into bed and the mattress swallows me into its soft embrace. I close my eyes and try to sleep. Day 2. My eyes jolt open, startled by the sudden thud. Perfect timing, you're awake. I was just about to wake you up. We're heading out in 30 minutes. His voice, though muffled by my grogginess, guides my gaze towards him. Reluctantly, I manage to sit up, my eyelids heavy and vision blurry. The room is dimly lit, making it hard to pick out the details, but a shadowy shape on the bed catches my attention, a briefcase. Morning. What time is it? 5:40. How'd you sleep? I rub my eyes, squinting through the thin gap in the curtains. The lack of sunlight confirms the ungodly hour. Okay, I guess. As my eyes adjust, I stare at Will. He's wearing some kind of overcoat. What's with the coat? Are you hiding that? I wear it when I'm out for investigations. It helps me stay hidden. Also has the same material as my jacket. He tugs in the collar of his shirt and fixes his tie. I'm only mildly warm, not the worst thing ever. I see. What about the tie? What about it? Don't you think it's a bit over the top for an investigation? No. Enough of the questions. Go freshen up and get ready. We'll be leaving shortly. Thoughts from yesterday creep back into my mind, and I remember exactly what we were going to be doing. Toss a blanket outside, I awkwardly get up, trying to suppress the morning wood that's become apparent now. I try my best to hide it from Raul, who's already distracted with packing. I merely nod in affirmation as I walk past him and stumble my way to the blindingly bright bathroom. It takes a bit for my eyes to adjust before I can find a sink. I turn on the tap and stare at myself in the mirror. I look like a mess. As I splash cold water on my face, I'm reminded of yesterday's events, my wallet, the assault, the cryptic messages, and the embarrassing realization that I passed out here. Everything's going to be okay. Hopefully. I turn off the tap and am about to exit the bathroom where I see Rose standing outside waiting for me. With a briefcase in one paw and an umbrella in the other, he looks ready to depart. Are we leaving now? He nods. We better. Javier's waiting for us downstairs. As I pick up a towel to dry my paws, Rose speaks up again after a moment of pause. By the way, about yesterday, who's Colson? The sudden mention of the name catches me off guard. I haven't heard the name in years. Colson. You were muttering their name last night. Did I? Cramp. My face is flushed and I quickly look away, trying to act as nonchalant as nonchalant as possible. They were a friend. My voice cracks just as I'm about to finish my sentence. Is that so? Well, it's none of my business, just curious. His line of questioning reminds me of what you mentioned last night. Oh yeah, why'd you bring us sleeping? Why you bring up sleep talking last night? It's actually related to this. You spoke another name yesterday. You passed out on my bed. Maxwell, another one of your friends. I was at the mention of that name, my head looking down at the ground to avoid eye contact. No, that was my father. Was? I see. He mutters something to himself before he speaks once more. Well, just keep that in mind. You might unknowingly reveal something personal. You know what I mean? I'm not back, and now I'm wondering if I said anything else last night. I didn't say anything revealing last night, did I? His chuckle is gentle, as if trying to lighten the mood. He raises a paw dismissively, then gestures towards the hotel room door. I'll be waiting for you in the hallway. The elevator ride down is unsurprisingly fast, given that it's still early in the morning. Rose is preoccupied with adjusting straps on the sleeves of his overcoat. He's even bulkier with that coat on. It seems so cumbersome. We arrive in the lobby, exit through a separate set of doors and reach the hotel driveway. I follow Rose lead as he points to a black sedan with heavily tinted windows situated on the opposite side of the parking lot. I wonder why my cab driver didn't pull up here yesterday. It's just around the corner from the street entrance. As we walk over, the driver's side window rolls down and the same fox from yesterday reveals himself. A fine morning to the gentleman. And Rose scoffs back, looking unimpressed. We're lucky it doesn't seem to be raining. Yet. Wolf gets into the front passenger seat, leaving the back completely free for me. The fox takes out his phone and punches something in it before driving off. Give Theodore the rundown. So let's see. Well, today's definitely interesting. First stop is Iridescent Drive. After that, we'll head back to Cyprus. And if time permits, we'll check out another site. I'll explain more of what we'll be doing when we get there. My attention bounces from Javier to Ro. The height difference between them is striking. Ro has been slightly forward to prevent his head from hitting the roof, while Javier's head is barely on the headrest. I stare out the side window, seeing the buildings slide by like a carousel as we speed down the deserted morning streets. So Theodore, I tried to trace the origin of those messages, but it came up short. Whoever sent them didn't want to be found. They knew what they were doing. My palms curled tighter around the edge of my seat. That being said, this could still be a bluff and it may not be serious at all. Wait, how did you get into my messages? I don't remember giving you my passcode. Well, I didn't need it. I just simply pinned you lost me at multi-tool. You hacked into your phone, more or less. Hey, you're grossly oversimplifying the mechanisms at work here. Just drive. The fox muttered something under his breath, a grumble of discontent. Eventually the silence returns, and with it, the feeling of unease starts to churn within. Hey, I brought some tortillas. You guys are hungry. My stomach growls from the midst of food. He offers a bag from the central console of Ro over to Ro, who declines and then passes the bag over to me instead. I take the plastic bag and take a torta out and inspect it. It's a lot heavier than I thought. Tortas? It's the kind of sandwich you don't have any allergies, do you? These are somewhat spicy. No, I'll still be fine. Left. The car lifts to the side, abruptly causing me to drop the sandwich, staying in my jacket. Ah, pendejo. Javier wrestles with the steering wheel, maneuvering the car around an intersection and swerving past a blurry figure. A resonating thump vibrates through the vehicle, violently shaking us in our seats. Fucking hell. I manage to fasten myself to my seat and regain balance as the car stabilizes and comes to a stop. What the hell just happened? Did we just hit someone? Glancing behind, I see a figure sprawled on the street with lengthy black skid marks trailing over the curb and sidewalk to where we are now. No, I swerved around, then at the last second, luckily. They're getting back up. They'll be fine. The fox examined his side view mirror and nods. Yeah, let's not waste any more time. What? We're just going to leave? Are we all good? I'm fine, I guess. Me too. They were leaving. Is this a miss of one, though? Not when they jump up from the sidewalk. They were either on something or that was the saddest attempt at insurance fraud I've seen in my lifetime. We can check the dash cam later. My heart's racing from the near collision. How can they be so calm about this? Shit, the engine light is on. Must have taken something loose from the hood. Might be a sensor. Fuck, I didn't get insurance for this rental. Can you help me check it out where we stop? Please? Fine. The rest of the car ride is much calmer in comparison. Even after attempting to clean it, my jacket carries the lingering scent of chili peppers and onions, prompting me to remove it. Harvey is driving much slower and with caution now, and Ro keeps casting glances over his shoulder as if we're being followed. Despite the relative quiet, my nerves are anything but settled. I look down my phone to check the time. It's almost 6:30. We've been on the road for over 30 minutes now. How much further do we have to go? My question goes on unanswered, swallowed by the silence in the car. Looking outside, I realize we're in an industrial area, with warehouses and factories stretching as far as the eye can see. The city skyline is quite distant now, but I can still distinguish the silhouette of the Grand Marine, at least I think. Actually, we're here. We'll park down the street and walk the rest of the way. We pull over next to a sprawling factory that looks long abandoned with a rusted fence surrounding the perimeter. Where the hell are we? How did we get to a place like this? We were just in the city minutes ago. Ugh. Miles stretches, yawning as he does so. Next time, get a bigger car. Yeah, speaking of which, can you check the hood? I'll start making my way over. He waves a device in his paw, gesturing Ro towards the hood, then turns to walk down the street. Alright. What about me? Ro motions towards Xavier, who's already some distance away. This won't take long. I'll catch up. Okay. I start jogging to catch up with Javier, but he turns and raises a paw, signaling for me to slow down. Try to be more discreet, please. I ease my sprint into a steady walk, gradually catching up to him. For a man of his size, Javier certainly moves quickly. Or maybe it's just me who's slow. Silence envelops us as we stroll down the dimly lit road. The fox's gaze ahead unwavering. Eventually we come to a halt before a towering rusted gate. Beyond it, an imposing power plant looms, flanked by a large warehouse. So they got the main character out, or a mystery with them to see who the person could be that sent him that message on his phone. Somebody's probably targeting Theodore. And that person also sent a picture of him up against that cat, that drug addict cat So next time we'll see what Ralph finds, because this industrial area is where the address came from. So we're gonna see what happens next time. So you got to learn that Theodore's father is dead, so it's just him and his mother. We also got to learn about how the city is run. A lot of corruption going on. It seems like the police is more interested in protecting the mayor rather than protecting the public. Well himself said that the police. Well himself said to Theodore that the police were not his friend. So, yeah, they're corrupt. Theodore talking in his sleep. So, when Woe told Theodore about it, Theodore wanted Woe to tell him what he said in his sleep, and Woe just fell silent. He just didn't say anything. So, I guess he was annoyed by whatever Theodore said in his sleep. Which I assume is him saying a lot of sexual stuff about Woe. Because Woe, after he was in the shower, came out there in just his underwear. So, yeah, I mean, I understand why Theodore said that. If that was what he really said, I'm just assuming, but if he said a lot of sexual stuff about Woe, I understand, because, Woe, he just walks out there in front of Theodore in his underwear. Which looks kind of like a jockstrap, really. But I think Woe still have asked Theodore if he was alright wearing that kind of underwear in front of him before he went to the shower. So, and Theodore mentioned some other people, because Woe actually told their names to Theodore. He overheard Theodore talking about the names of other people. So I guess those other people Theodore said in his sleep might be his friends, and some might even be his former boyfriends. The way he reacted when Woe brought it up about those two persons that Theodore said while he was in his sleep. That might have been his boyfriends. So that's all for now. We'll continue next time and see what they find in that industrial area, that abandoned factory or building. So thank you all very much for watching. Bye.